Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Patch day was today, guys. Thank you all the members, all the Patreons, and let's talk about the F-20 TIGERSHARK finally flying into some battles, guys. Another episode of the first impressions. I will do a full review of this aircraft later, but I just wanted to get this video out, playing with it and what I think initially, pros and cons in general, and if it's worth to actually buy it or not, if it's really worth it or not. So let's just get into it, guys. Well, the first thing that I wanted to talk about is look at the speed, climb and performance of this aircraft. This is an outstanding aircraft. It really is. It's on par with acceleration and speed with any 4th generation aircraft. It really is an amazing aircraft in the thrust weight department. It really is. And well, there is a certain thing that I wanted to talk about first. This aircraft will be amazing flying low, right? But I really dislike flying low. You can use it, and I will show a match later that you can actually use it flying low, and it doesn't matter. But the performance, you miss so much performance on the aircraft if you fly low. You are not really fully utilizing the envelope of the aircraft, it feels like, because it's so fast, it has so much speed, so much thrust, that you kind of like have to try flying high. It's kind of fun to do it. So yeah, kind of funny about that, right? But yeah, let's talk about the cons first. Well, there are some things that limit this aircraft, okay, guys? Don't think that it's a perfect aircraft. It is basically an F5, so everything that you normally would think about the F5 applies to this aircraft. But there is a little thing. If you actually watched my F5E FCU video that I posted earlier today, I talk about how the main con of the F5 FCU is the lack of reach. It's the lack of radar-guided missiles that can fire from a longer range, and it lacks the ability to out-accelerate your enemies, or at least be on par with your enemies accelerating. All of those problems I fixed on this F-20, you know? So although it will have some cons, and yes, I think the main one would be the lack of number of missiles and the quality of the missiles that you are using. Although, I mean, it is still a lower BR aircraft than the top tiers. You will see a lot of top tiers in the game, and I mean, it's just an AIM-9L and AIM-7 launcher, so it will face the same problems that as any other aircraft that uses these missiles that these BRs have, right? So if you are facing a 12.7 4th generation like an Su-27, a MiG-29 SMT, an F-16C, or anything with AIM-9Ms, sometimes you will get killed, you know, out of nowhere because of that. So don't expect to be a counter to any 4th generations. It's, even though it is a smaller aircraft and a more difficult aircraft to kill than some of the other 4th generations, still lacks the ability to have better missiles, the number of missiles that these other aircraft have, and of course, I think the overall feeling of the aircraft, and it's not really a feeling, it's, I mean, you can still feel it's a 3rd generation aircraft, so aerodynamically, it's still an aircraft that has an old project. That's what I mean, right? It's still an aircraft that will lack in some regards in terms of performance, on the sense, especially in turning capability and maintaining that energy, etc., compared to something like the F-16. But apart from that, I mean, the lack of a lot of missiles, but I mean, you can still take like 6 AIM-9s, which is reasonable, even though they are AIM-9Ls, but still they're reasonable. And the lack of being a proper 4th generation aircraft are little things. I gotta say, I'm nitpicking a little bit just to have something to talk about that it's not really perfect on this aircraft, because everything else, and we can talk about the pros now, is amazing. Everything else, like the acceleration is on par with every other 4th generation aircraft, and the turning capability is also pretty amazing. As I said, I mean, there are going to be aircraft that turn better than you, but I have to properly do a dogfighting video, probably testing it out, and I will do that soon to actually have a proper idea. But I still have a feeling that the energy retention, everything like that, should be better in F-16, maybe the Su-27, but I might be surprised, so I'm not gonna get too much into that. But at least on the acceleration, max speed, everything like that, it is on par with the 4th generations, which means that you have plenty of reach that the other F5s lack, right? So you actually can do it all. You can get people by surprise because you have the speed. You can get people from further away because you have the radar missiles, and you have the performance to climb and use those radar missiles as well, while actually being able to turn very well as well. So yeah, this aircraft, sometimes I got to Mach 1.3 on the deck with this aircraft, or close to that. It's a really fast aircraft, like really fast. Like you have no idea how fast this thing goes. So if you turn off your radar, for example, you can do very well flying very low, getting people by surprise. You can do very well flying high and trying to get people in BVR, as you saw in some of the matches that I'm showing to you guys. So it can do it all. It has a little bit of a problems here and there. Of course, it's not a top tier aircraft, you know. I mean, it lacks a little bit here and there on the performance, it lacks on the missiles and stuff, but in a general way, it has like 90% of the things are pros on this thing. But there is still one problem, and that's where I think the main thing comes with it. It is a premium aircraft, guys. So is it worth it? Yeah, I can talk about all day long how it's an amazing aircraft, that you can beat anything on it. That yes, it has some cons, you know. It takes a little bit more skill in a top tier fight to kill something in BVR with these missiles in this radar. It takes a little bit more skill using these missiles. It takes a little bit more skill using the aircraft in general, compared to like an F-16C. But at the end of the day, this thing is a premium. So yes, I gotta say it, it is the best premium in the game. It is, like, by far, you know. It's the easiest aircraft that you will find to fly. You know, if you really want, I don't know, maybe you are researching rank 5, or you just started on the game, whatever, and you really wanted a new premium, but also an aircraft that you can learn, because premiums are normally kind of hard to play sometimes, you know, not always, but sometimes they are not the greatest thing ever. I mean, the C-Vixen is a great example of that. There are premiums that are amazing, they are really good, but there is a learning curve, right? And on the F-20, yes, there is of course a learning curve, but the learning curve is to learn how to use the radar, learn how to use the flares that you will need to do no matter what aircraft you play in the top tiers. And then everything else is just an F5, so it's easy. Like, it really is as easy as you can think. These guns are probably the noobiest, friendliest guns that you can have. The M39s are, they don't do a lot of damage, but they have a lot of ammunition. They don't jam up. You have plenty of opportunities to shoot a lot of people with it, and they don't have a particularly bad bullet drop or feeling on the missile or on the gun or anything like that. The missiles, if you want to stay away a little bit from the radar missiles, you always have AIM-9Ls, which is a very standard missile, and it's a very easy missile to learn how to use it. So it's literally the perfect premium aircraft. It really, really is. Like, it's perfect because it's easy to use, it's perfect because it will give you bonuses, and it's perfect because in the right hands, even though it's easy, if you have skill, you can beat anything with this thing. So it's amazing. It really, really is an amazing aircraft. But here comes the problem, guys. It's $75. It's quite the expensive weapon for you to buy. So is it worth it? Well, you gotta think about your personal life first, obviously. I see a lot of people, oh my god, it's worth it, it's not worth it. Oh, saying like it doesn't depend on your personal life money, right? Because this will cost you real life money. So the idea here is that, first of all, look if $75 is a lot of money for you. That's the main thing. If it isn't, and you want to get into the game, or you want an amazing premium for US, or you just want the best premium in the game for you to buy, go for it. It is worth it. If $75 isn't a lot of money for you. If it is a little bit, of course, no, don't buy it. Buy something cheaper that will be more efficient for you to grind. So there's plenty of options of many premiums out there, especially in the US. The US has many premiums that you can buy that are a lot cheaper. Even the F-5C, it's an aircraft that is on a rank 7, so it will give you the same amount of rewards almost as the F-20. It is as easy to fly as the F-20. It will still make you learn a lot of the things of jet combat, and I mean, it's still expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than the F-20. So consider that a little bit. Or even there's so many, as I said, there's so many premiums. You gotta take and see what is more efficient for you. There are better options out there if $75 or even $60 are too much for you. And yeah, as I said, there are more efficient options. Is the F-20 bad? No. It's amazing. Best premium of the game. If nobody else receives another rank 8 premium like this, this will be the best premium for a while. Still needs to be learned, you know, and etc. But it is the easiest rank 8 aircraft of the game to play, probably. And yeah, it's just an amazing premium. But it needs to be put into perspective on the money amount. You need to be efficient with your money, of course, like it is in real life. So if the F-20 is too expensive, don't you worry. You don't need this aircraft. There are better options out there if you want to buy a premium, or if you like need to buy a premium or whatever, you know. So take that into account, okay guys? This is only my opinion, of course, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if you think the F-20 is worth it. Of course, I know guys, I know $75 is an enormous amount of money for a War Thunder premium, and I disagree with the prices a little bit, but I mean, personally, I have regional pricing, so for me it's not that expensive, but I understand that it is a very big price, and it's like, I understand that some people will feel that they are kind of being ripped off or something, but you gotta put into perspective the personal life of the person. If the guy like has the money, there's no way of running that the F-20 is the best premium for you to buy. If the money question is not a problem, F-20 all the way. If you think it's too expensive, as I said, don't you worry. There are better options out there, way more efficient, that gives you almost the same amount of rewards, and it will be fun to play as much as it is on the F-20. Okay guys, so again, just my opinion, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. See you guys on the next one, and bye. Subscribe, click the like button please guys. See ya.